Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. We finally have a date for Iron Fist, so there's just going to be a breakdown of what's happening with that in Defenders, Punisher, and the other Netflix series. But they're basically just teasing the place where Iron Fist goes to get his training, to get his powers. The thing about this, you might recognize this date. This is the date that Daredevil Season 2 came out this past year. Now, obviously there's like a one-day difference, but it's the same weekend that Daredevil Season 2 came out. So I think Netflix is going to try and stick with this, so when they get to Daredevil Season 3 next year, they'll premiere it around this time that year. Now, they're going to have an interesting thing going on because they have Jessica Jones Season 2 in production right now. It seems like they're actually stealth shooting some Punisher stuff right now too, if they're not finishing Defenders. Because Defenders is supposed to be the next thing after Iron Fist. It's supposed to air sometime during the summer of next year, but they haven't officially confirmed that yet. So you have Luke Cage Season 2, you have Daredevil Season 3, Jessica Jones Season 2. You basically have like the next season of all the individual character shows. So it seems like they're headed in a Marvel movies direction where they have so much content, they need to drop 3 series during a year. Like Marvel's getting ready to drop 3 movies a year instead of 2 movies. So what you'll probably wind up seeing is there'll be like a series in the spring, one in the summer, and then one later in the year, like around this time. But any of that could change. Like Netflix always looks at the data from like how people watch stuff year to year during different times of the year. So if they decide that more people tend to watch these series really late in the year, then they'll air it during November. Like Jessica Jones was a November series. But they're supposed to be dropping new Iron Fist footage at New York Comic Con, which is part of the reason why I think they didn't drop this right after that 13th episode of Luke Cage. And just to say, like, there was actually an Iron Fist Easter egg, a really big one at the end of Luke Cage. So just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen Luke Cage yet. It's not super spoilery because you kind of know that Iron Fist is coming next. But at the very end of Luke Cage, Claire Temple sees an advertisement for a martial arts school led by a person named Colleen Wing. So immediately you're like, oh my god, she's like the Misty Knight of the Iron Fist TV show. Although if you've seen Luke Cage, you know that it's not quite the same thing. Misty Knight of the TV show is nothing like Misty Knight of the comics. So you can see how they're changing a few things. So like Colleen Wing is going to be something of a love interest for Iron Fist. And what I think is going to happen when that series starts is that they'll plot it out in a similar way to Luke Cage with the way they tell the backstory. Like you'll see him, with like the full beard, like he's just come back to the city in the first moments of episode 1. They kind of did that with Luke Cage episodes where they jumped around in time, just opening on an action scene and then flashing back to what happened that led up to that moment. But I'll say after Luke Cage, I am so ready for Iron Fist. One of my only complaints, I'll do another Luke Cage video where I review the rest of the series, but it did feel plotless at times, like you weren't sure exactly what it was building to with each of these characters. Like the criminals want to control Harlem, but like what do they want beyond that? It's just that some of the plot was just a little too general, almost as if there was no plot, until Diamondback showed up, and even then it kind of fizzled towards the end. It was almost like a non-ending. So I'm hoping that's not the case with Iron Fist. Just the pitch is that it's martial arts with, full-blown chi force. So you'd think that it'd be a little more action-oriented. But if you don't know anything about Iron Fist, Danny Rand is a billionaire in the Marvel Universe. His family built a company called Rand Meacham. That's where all his money comes from. But his father and his mother die while they're on this trip going to Kunlun. Like his father is trying to get back to this special place that seems very much like where the Chased are from in the Daredevil universe. Like you have Stick, who's a member of the Chase, the secret order. In the comics, it's a very different thing, but they might make it the same thing on the TV show. Remains to be seen. But essentially, Danny Rand goes off and trains in this interdimensional space, learns to harness the force of his chi, and that becomes his superpower, so he becomes the immortal Iron Fist. But Madame Gao seems like she's going to be a bigger thing during his series, so I'm expecting her to pop up. In the actual Kingpin, like the actual real villain, like the Diamondback, so to speak, of his movie, will be David Wenham, who's playing Harold Meacham. So they cast like a couple Meacham characters. Jerry Hogarth, or Jaren Hogarth, however you want to think about her, from Jessica Jones is going to guest star. She's the lawyer for Iron Fist's family. Remember, they're billionaires. She's this high-powered lawyer. So you have Danny Rand coming back from the dead, so to speak, taking his fortune back. So you can imagine like this billion-dollar company that his family is in with the Meachums becomes something of a revenge story because Meachum is responsible for his father's death. So there's a revenge element to it. The Steel Serpent becomes kind of like the dark Iron Fist eventually. So they might change a few of the characters from the comics. It's just that the Meachum family is a very big thing in Iron Fist's story. So they're going to be a big thing in season 1. But Colleen Wing will kind of be like a Claire Temple, Misty Knight type character for Iron Fist. But in the comics, we all know Iron Fist is with Misty Knight. They might build to that in a future season, but it seems like Misty Knight of the Netflix universe is a little bit older, like Luke Cage is a little bit older, like he's almost in his 40s it seems like. So Iron Fist seems younger than that, so I think there's going to be just like a few things that are different from the comics. But let me know, what are you excited for? I know Defenders is a big question. We're all like, okay, are they going to do Shadowland because of what they did in Daredevil Season 2? If you haven't caught up on the Netflix series 2, now is the time to do that. You have till the spring before Iron Fist starts, so we should learn more about what's going on with the Punisher, with Defenders, and Iron Fist, all in the next week during New York Comic Con. So whatever ends up happening, I'll do a video for it. Be sure to subscribe to get that. I'll also finish my Luke Cage because there's no Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode this week. I completely forgot about that. There's no Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. airing, it's on break. So I'll do Luke Cage before Arrow tomorrow. So get hype, it's going to be awesome. And my Flash video is going to post tonight after the episode airs, so be sure to watch it. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for like the last big clip from episode 1, and you can click here for that Defenders trailer. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.